not voting. Hey everybody, tell somebody, voter apathy is facilitating rigging. Enda uregister, na poto kuvota. Enda uregister, na poto kuvota. Give me mune power ya chori mu kuvota.
People power.
Magwejende mu register, my youth and mu register, my ninja and mu register, my shack and mu register, aberenda mu register, I went out register. Give me mune power ya chori mu kuvota. Iwe munu enda uregister, waregister na poto kuvota. Iwe munu enda uregister, iwe munu register ukuvota. Don't you blame Zanu for disappointing you. Blame yourself for not voting.
Iwe, Mashinzura Mega. And say, I don't blame Zanu-PF for disappointing you. I blame you for not voting.
That's very true.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again on our weekly news review program, where we come to you every Sunday evening with the stories that made the headlines on Change Radio News over the past week. We opened there with the video from Taffy the Man, encouraging us all to go and vote. My youth, my shaki, wana mama, wana baba, everyone, go and register and vote, and let's take this illegal Mnangagwa's administration out of State House. We know that the State House is rightfully Advocate Chamisa's. So let us all go and register. Let's take this illegal government out and let's make a difference. We welcome you, all our viewers and listeners on Zim-I, on Change Radio. Welcome. Let's get into it. Chief, welcome.
Thank you, leader. Makati muri Zimbabwe, matima na akaterera.
Leader Estela, can you welcome the viewers?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Leader Sophie. Warm welcome to you all, Change Radio listeners, wherever you are across the globe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Warm welcome to today's episode of News Review. Thank you, Leader Sophie.
Thank you, Leader Estela. Thank you so much for those warm welcoming words. But before we get into our programs, let's remind each other to register and vote. There is a free toll-free number, a free phone number, where you can call and get all the information that you might need on how to register to vote, where the registration centers are, and what you need to bring. That number, admin, I don't know if you can flight that number for us. The number to call is 08080219. Yes, that's the number being flighted there, 08080219. Okay, we have a wide range of topics that we'll be talking about today. So let's get into it, because I know a lot of supporters are ready to go and they want to watch news review and then go for the soccer match afterwards. So we'll go into it. We'll be talking about Mnangagwa's 5 pledges. The damp squib that were sold in Zimbabweans, Takanye Perwa na Mnangagwa. We'll be talking about that today. We'll be talking about Mtetwa telling the ZACC to investigate Tagwirei. We'll be talking about the violence in SA, the Zuma protests. We'll be talking about the Eswatini protest as well, where the MDC Alliance has said that the Eswatini government and ZANU-PF are very similar. It's the same WhatsApp group. We'll be talking about Greenfield's fiasco, Billy Rattenbach, who has sent armed troops to plow out the crops from the villages in Chipinge. We'll be talking about the Haiti police, arresting 17 people after the president was assassinated. We'll be talking about the new $50 bond note. We'll also talk about the Zipra war veterans that are failing to register for their payouts. And we're also going to be talking about some CIO operatives threatening Gurue residents over reports that have been made over corrupt land deals in the province. Okay, so let us go right into it. Chief, can I hand over to you?
Which one do you want me to start with? Anyway, I'll start with the big one here.
Yeah.
I'll start with the big one, the Zuma case, what is going on in South Africa. And I think we're going to be showing people some videos here and some audios. But before that, let me just say I'm going to speak on the side of the people of South Africa, and then I'm going to speak on the other side. The other side, Let me start with the people of South Africa. I salute them. I hail the people of South Africa. I'm not saying I am going with what they're doing, but just the strength, the courage that they have to take on the establishment, getting in the streets and expressing their views, expressing their emotions. That's democracy. If you're not happy about something, you are allowed to go in the streets to demonstrate, to tell the establishment, to tell whoever is the powers that be, that we as a people are not happy about this. For that, I respect and salute the South African people. I wish we had just have that courage, as Zimbabweans. If we could just borrow a few of the South Africans there and put them in Zimbabwe, I'm telling you, would not be entertaining all this nonsense that we have been forced to entertain, or that we have made ourselves entertain for the past 40 years. We just need a little bit of that South African flair, that South African courage, that you get in there, you face the police officers, you face the army, they have bullets, they're firing bullets, they have guns, the same things that prevail in Zimbabwe, that we have soldiers that will be shooting, we have police officers that will be shooting. We are seeing people being shot at, we are seeing guns, live bullets being fired at the demonstrators in South Africa. But the South Africans have remained steadfast. They are standing on what they believe is being done to Jacob Zuma. Right. And on the side of the establishment, I'm drawing similarities here on what is going on in South Africa and what happens in Zimbabwe. Cyril Ramaphosa, respectable as he is in some circles, in this case, yes, he's right. He's trying to deal with corruption. He's saying zero tolerance to corruption. But is he doing it for the sake of rooting out corruption? Are we not seeing here a ZANU-PF style where we see a selective application of law? Someone taking advantage of the law, someone using the state apparatus to even scores. That's what I'm seeing here. Because South Africans have complained about the rampant corruption that is prevalent in the South African government. South Africans have spoken widely about the corruption within Ramaphosa's cabinet. But we have not seen anyone being persecuted or prosecuted for that matter by Cyril Ramaphosa. And we are seeing the government that is going back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, to try and prosecute Zuma. What about all the other people that are involved in corruption, in corrupt deals in South Africa? Why are they not in jail? Are we seeing Ramaphosa here having gone through the ZANU-PF, school of state capture? I think that's exactly what we are seeing here. It looks like Cyril Ramaphosa has been lectured by Emmerson Mnangagwa that you can persecute your political foes or anyone who is trying to criticize you or who is against you, you can use state apparatus to deal with them. And that's exactly what we are seeing here. And this is my opinion. This is not the MDC Alliance position on this issue. I don't even know what the party position on that is. So I'm expressing my own views that yes, we want those who are corrupt to be dealt with, but let all those who are corrupt be dealt with, in the same way, in the same manner, without picking and choosing. You can't cherry pick those who you want to prosecute.
Absolutely, Chief. You make very valid points there. A lot of questions. These are questions that people are asking all over. That there's a lot of corruption going on in the current administration. We only have to go back a year from now. People are asking questions about the missing 500 billion rands that was donated for the COVID-19 relief. And there have been no arrests as yet so far. We talk about even Cyril Ramaphosa, they're talking and saying that he was vice president when the purported corruption and the Zuma cases were happening. So he was part of the administration. So also they're saying he should also be answerable to what he's making Zuma go through. And the question of uniformity that you put in quite rightfully as well, because we have people, and they mentioned that these are white people. We don't know, a lot of names have come in, where they say they were also summoned to appear before the State Capture Commission, and they refused, and nothing has happened to them. So they're asking that why isn't that uniformity being played out to people in the similar situation? Why is it only Zuma now? And, a lot of questions are coming in, and those questions will have to be answered.
Yes. Yeah, I think if we can play, there's an audio that is talking about that, the people of South Africa speaking their mind in the streets, so that it doesn't become
citizen.
Opinion. Yes.
The citizen. We are not going to surrender right now. We are going to mobilize more. We are going to mobilize zonke insizwa la hostela zizophuma, and we want to shake this economy, because even if the economy shana phansi noma economy yaphezulu, we benefit nothing from this thing. Right now Jacob Zuma is arrested, but awukho umehluko wenzala kwi-rand. If it was Ramaphosa, then irand abethwa tshekile njengamanje. We are not going to listen to this thing of white people. We are going to mobilize, and all stores our own abantu abamhlophe, we are going there. Yeah, we are going there. We are hungry. We don't have food. No. We do not have food. So if we do not afford food, what is it that we must do? There is food there in the shops, so we must go there and enjoy ourselves.
Protesting is allowed in South Africa, but by banning the property of other people, what do you say in relation to
anything? We didn't ban anything. What is it that we have banned? We didn't ban anything. We are saying we are hungry. We are hungry. These people here, they are talking about 350. What is it that you can buy using 350? Nothing at all. Ramaphosa had never had an interest to save this country. He never had an interest for that. He's arrested Jacob Zuma right now, who declared free education, but still our people does not enjoy that free education. So we are going for Ramaphosa. We must make sure that we overthrow this government of Ramaphosa. We are very clear. We are tired of Ramaphosa. People are hungry here in hostel. They will remember abantu abahlala hostel only when they are going to elections. It's enough. Right now we are confronting them.
Yes. Can we have your names, Bob?
No.
Can you have your names?
The names of who? My name. I am a citizen of this country.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow, this is powerful. This is powerful. Can't we just get that person and get him in Zimbabwe, and let him lead our revolution?
They are there, Chief. We've got Sarkozy, we've got Leader Obey, we've got those in the wings. They're just waiting for the right time. And I'm telling you, anything can happen. And we will learn from these guys and we'll get it right.
Yeah, and one thing that I've picked from the conversation with this gentleman or youth in South Africa is that we are seeing again the same thing that ZANU-PF does. It looks like Ramaphosa is reading from the ZANU-PF book here of tactics. South Africa is reeling under serious issues and cases of poverty. People in South Africa are complaining about being jobless, about the state of the economy. Even though to us from Zimbabwe it looks good, it looks okay, but the South Africans themselves, you are hearing them saying repeatedly that they are hungry. These are issues to do with the people's livelihoods. And it looks like the South African government is trying to use decoys, things that divert people's attention from real issues. The real issues in South Africa is that there are no jobs and there is no employment creation, as yet. People are not convinced with what Cyril Ramaphosa has done. He's eloquent, he's good in talking, he addresses press conferences very well, but I don't think that is what the people of South Africa want. The people of South Africa want food on the table, they want jobs, and that's what they're talking about. And that's what they're saying the government should be addressing, as opposed to chasing one man, one person, when there are a lot of thieves that are going around there. We have a lot of people that have captured the South African government, that have captured the South African, system, that are there. We can mention them by names, but I'm telling you, that's exactly what the South African government should be addressing, rather than chasing one old man. Not that he should be allowed to get away with any crime. If he committed any criminal offense, then he deserves what is happening to him. What we criticize, what we will always oppose, because that happens in Zimbabwe as well, is to go after one man simply because he has criticized you, he is your political foe, and then you leave the rest of the people that are killing the South African economy, bleeding the South African economy, and you leave them like that. That's what we are criticizing. Let's have an equal treatment of all citizens. If they are thieves, they should all go in jail. If they are not, then they should be let go.
Quite right, Chief. Absolutely. Let's have that uniformity. We have a comment there from, I'm not sure, is that TB, who is saying, guys, do research. Zuma refused to attend the State Capture Commission. Everyone else attended, including Cyril. Only Zuma refused. Also remember, the Zondo Commission was created by Zuma. Contempt of court is what Zuma was arrested of. His corruption cases haven't been tried yet. Yes, we are on the same page, Tibet, but you must remember also, there are a number of names that Chief was talking about that are not going to be commented here, who are also summoned to attend the State Capture Commission, but they have refused. And to this day, they are walking scot-free. So that's where the problem comes in, that Chief is talking about, that there is no uniformity there. If Zuma is to be arrested for refusing to attend this State Capture Commission, then as well, the guys who has also been summoned to attend before or to appear before the State Capture Commission must also be in the same position.
Yes, Leader, I totally agree with you. And let me also respond to the commentator there. I don't know whether it's a she or a he, but we have done our research. When we come here, we would have done our research, and we can go deeper. If you want us to go deeper, we can go deeper. Because if you have been following, we are not saying Zuma should not be arrested. Zuma should be arrested for whatever crime he has done. But we are saying the South African government should not cherry pick whom they want to arrest for any criminal offenses, whether they are corruption or anything. If you have listened to Malema has been crying, he has spoken widely about Patrice Motsepe, how he got his riches, the Oppenheimers, Nikki Oppenheimer. Yes, they control the South African economy. They ana Queen Bee with South Africa. They are corrupt to the bone. There's Malema has spoken about Johan Rupert and Koos Becker and many others that are involved in corrupt activities. We are not even talking about the hundreds of millions of dollars that came from the United Nations, from Europe, from America, from UK, that were supposed to be for COVID-19 relief. That money has not been found. Nobody knows how it was used or where it went. That's what we are saying here, that if the South African government want to go after the corrupt people in South Africa, it should go after everyone. It should go after everyone who is involved and who was mentioned in the report, not to only pick Jacob Zuma. That's what we are saying. We are not in support of Jacob Zuma. If he's a criminal, he should be in jail. But then let all criminals be in jail.
Absolutely. I think we've discussed that quite extensively. If we could move on, I think just to tie it up, you mentioned Kudakwashe Tagwire there for a second. I think, maybe we should talk about, Beatrice Mtetwa, mentioning that or advocating for the ZACC to investigate his money, which is not his.
Yes, I mean, this is what we have been saying. I was reading at one WhatsApp group where people were asking, questioning what is the MDC doing about the Kudata Gwire report. This report has come after Honorable Tendai Biti, Vice President Tendai Biti, has spoken, widely about this issue at Kudata Gwire. We raised hell in Parliament. Honorable Tendai Biti spoke about the corruption. You remember that video? I wish we had found that video. Nyika yedu yatorwa nezvigananda. Chigananda chimwe chacho chihombe chacho chinonzi Kudata Gwire. Ndiye atora nyika yedu, ndiye atora economy, ndiye auraya economy. Tendai Biti spoke about that several times. Fadzai Mahere has spoken widely about the massive rampant corruption in Zimbabwe. So it's not Beatrice Mtetwa who has started this issue, but we appreciate what she has done. We appreciate the call from civic society, but the MDC has talked about this, very widely. And we want to see Kudata Gwire being arrested. How can one man monopolize? How can one man be given all those contracts? He controls everything, command agriculture, command pharmacies, command, he is everywhere. He's being given contracts of almost everything in Zimbabwe. How can we have one man doing that? And what is going on? Is it genuine, or there's a lot that is behind the scenes that we do not know? So it's not wrong. It's not bad for anyone, for citizens, for the civic society, for opposition parties to call for an investigation. We have done that several times. And you know what the ZANU-PF or the police and ZAC have been saying? They've been saying, bring us the evidence and then we can arrest him. How can we give you the evidence? You are the police. You are the organization that was put in place to ensure that there is no corruption. You are an anti-corruption crack organization. You are supposed to be doing the investigations, not to ask citizens to give you the evidence. We can't operate like that. So hopefully we're going to see Kudata Gwire being brought to book, or at least being investigated, and then the investigation being made public to Zimbabweans.
Indeed, he must have his day, Kudakwashe Tagwire. He must have his day, and he must answer. He must answer. We move on to Mnangagwa's 5 pledges. I don't know, Leader Estella, if you can come in there as well, whenever you're ready. Do you remember when Mnangagwa was campaigning for the 2018 elections, and there were those massive billboards that cost millions of dollars, where he was saying there'll be over 2 million jobs created, there'll be education, there'll be free education, healthcare, and we're far from it. Leader Estella, can you help us with a few of those lies that we can see today that we were sold? I think we've lost her there. But anyway, Takanye Perwa, Zimbabweans, we were sold a damn squib, and if we have eyes to see, we must open our eyes and see that these are the people that we're dealing with who will only lie to us to get into office, and they don't have the people's interest at heart. You know, and we just can't go on. The point of note, what I can bring in now is the news, the bond notes, the $50 bond note, the one with the Mbiane Handa's face on it. I mean, it's a new note, and it's only worth 60 cents, if I'm not mistaken, Chief. The $50 bond note, it's only worth 60 cents. You can't buy a loaf of bread with one of it.
Yeah, it's worth nothing. It's worthless, and I don't even know who is the next time tenda kuona another bond note yao yake yasekuru Kagui kana dia Robert Mugabe. I don't know, you know. But yeah, exactly. We're going to see that. But just going back to Emerson Mnangagwa's empty promises. You know, the only expression to describe what he has done is lies, 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 and more lies. And now that we are going towards another election, Zimbabweans, you're going to see more lies coming from Emerson Mnangagwa. You're going to see more lies coming from ZANU-PF officials. Remember, vekumatapi vakaudzwa naChiwenga kunzi vakuisira ma state of the art flats here, anenge aine ma-swimming pool, anenge aine chii kumatapi kokuya vanhu vese vakafara vakataura kuti takuvakirwa ma-flats kuno. Vakapiwa mari zveshuwa, they were given money by the Americans here, and that money never saw the light of the day. That money, it was supposed to renovate the Matapi flats. The money was made available, but we don't even know where it went. So it's just a pile of lies. Emerson Mnangagwa did not only lie to the people of Zimbabwe, he also lied to the international community. He went around the world representing himself as a new dispensation that he was going to change. He was going to be different from Robert Mugabe. He's going to allow freedom of speech. Elections are going to be free and fair. And of note, he actually said that he was going to make sure that there are electoral reforms. He was going to enact electoral reforms in Zimbabwe. But up until today, not even one electoral reform has been enacted by Emerson Mnangagwa. In fact, he has been at the helm, and these officials have been on record saying they cannot reform themselves out of power. But he came in promising the world that he was going to change. He was going to level the playing field. Elections were going to be free and fair, you know. But we haven't seen that. ZBC is still monopolized by ZANU-PF. ZTV, you call it what?
ZBC.
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 ZBC. You know, nothing has changed. In fact, things have gotten worse. You know, Zimbabwe, we are now worse than where we were when Robert Mugabe was there. Robert Mugabe was evil. But if you hear people today, they are saying Robert Mugabe was better. So, unofunga kuti Mnangagwa chi if Robert Mugabe was evil. So, how do we describe Emerson Mnangagwa? The devil himself. But otherwise, he's worse.
He is. Yeah.
Saka vana veZimbabwe ngatiregedze kunyeperwa. Let's not be that gullible. Zvese zviri kutaurwa neZANU-PF manyepo, hapana mabasa avari kutaura, nothing. Maclinics avaitaura, nothing. Zvikoro zvavari kutaura zvavaitaura, nothing. Izvozvi vana vari kunzi dzidzai muri kudzimba over the internet. In Zimbabwe, children are supposed to learn over the internet with the electricity shortages, with Masiwa, who is a colleague of ZANU-PF, hiking up charges, internet charges, just like that. How many university students right now, how many secondary school students right now can afford to be in class? So even the education that he talked about is not even there. We are actually eroding what Robert Mugabe did in terms of education. So we can only get worse. Zimbabweans, if we don't do what we have to do in 2023, if we don't go and register and then we go and vote, and we don't encourage our relatives and friends to go and register so that we double the number that we had in 2018. We had 6 million people registering to vote. This time, if we are going to avoid being rigged, because if we have more people registering, more people voting, we are actually, it's actually a way of making sure that ZANU-PF doesn't read. So let's do what we have to do. Let's not wait and listen to these lies by ZANU-PF and Emerson Mnangagwa.
Mm. And if it was just lies, I think Gumai Papa would say, you know what, we can, handle it. But it's lies and making the lives of citizens worse. They say we're creating over 2 million jobs, and then there are no jobs created, and the citizens go and try and make a living for themselves by having their own businesses. And then we've got the Mugutis coming in and destroying and bulldozing those businesses. So really, it's out of the frying pan into the fire that we saw from Mugabe to Mnangagwa.
Yes, yes.
You can only take care and look out for his cronies. For example, Billy Rottenbach in Chipinge, actually going in and ordering villagers off their land and slashing their crops with armed soldiers in tow. Where does he get the power? Where does he get the authority to go and plow out villagers' crops with armed soldiers, the Zimbabwe National Army?
Yes, these are the Oppenheimer. Open. How do you pronounce that name? Please help me.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. These are the Oppenheimers of Zimbabwe. That they are allowed to do whatever they want. Oppenheimer in South Africa can go into any deal that he wants. The South African government will not stand in his way. That's exactly the same thing that we are seeing with Billy Ruttenberg. He's a good friend of ZANU-PF, a good friend of Emerson Mnangagwa. They've taken over everything that we have in Zimbabwe in terms of resources. And they go and they mine wherever they want. They plow and plant and take over fields wherever they want. They are literally a government unto themselves. They are going to the people right now, removing the Zimbabweans from their motherhood land, and the government is not doing anything about it, and we don't expect them to do anything about it because Ruttenberg is the government himself. He does whatever he wants. So it's just a mess. We need just to stand up as Zimbabweans. I don't know what we can do to get that South African flair. How can we be removed from our land? How do we stand by when our tax shops and our land, our houses are being destroyed? Nemunhu wanu watiri kuona. Kuri South Africa ndivaingopiswa vese nechikatapila chacho vese just like that.
Yeah. But I mean, we see winds of change happening, across Africa and across the world. In Eswatini, which is almost our neighbor, the protests going on, and they've had enough. They're fed up of the autocratic Mswati III. And also in Haiti, because of the corruption, the Haitians were also had enough. And the president was assassinated this past week. His wife was also shot. She survived, but the president was assassinated and killed. And the police, they have arrested 17 people. I think the majority are Colombians. It would be no surprise there that possibly this was an ordered assassination, a hit, but stemming down to the same problem of corruption by government leaders, and the people have had enough. Eswatini, same story happening. South Africa, there's riots going on, and maybe Zimbabwe might be next. We're going to express ourselves somehow.
Yeah, Eswatini. I mean, I love the people of Eswatini just the way I love the people of South Africa. I mean, they've done it. That's exactly what you have to do. You're not happy about something, go out there and express yourself. Tell the people to go to hell. Tell the soldiers to go to hell and get in there. It's called people power. That's the power of the people. People have power. When we are seeing it in Eswatini, and we as the people of Zimbabwe, and in particular as the MDC Alliance. Now I can speak on behalf of the MDC Alliance because I know the party position. The party position is we are standing in solidarity with the people of Eswatini. If you saw 2 days ago, our Secretary for International Relations, Gladys Trachayo, had a very long press conference where he established where the MDC Alliance stands We, as MDC Alliance, we do not condone people who abuse human rights. We stand with the people of Eswatini, unlike ZANU-PF, unlike Cyril Ramaphosa, unlike other Southern African leaders. We, as MDC, are choosing to stand with the people, with the suffering majority of Eswatini, rather than standing with a dictator. Right now, we know that ZANU-PF is standing with a dictator. For all we know, the king of Eswatini could be in Zimbabwe right now, hidden in Zimbabwe. But as the MDC, we condemn what is going on in Eswatini, and as a party, we are going to do everything that we can. As external assemblies, you're going to see, we'll be rolling out demonstrations all over in the United Kingdom, here in North America, in South Africa. South Africa, I was speaking to the South African chairperson. He was even saying if it wasn't for COVID, they were going to go there to Swaziland just to express their solidarity. But as we are speaking right now, our International Relations Secretary, Gladys, she's coming up with a petition that we are going to serve to the Eswatini High Commissions all over the world to just show them that we are not happy with the way things are here. I mean, in Eswatini. Aside of the petition, we're going to have an e-demo where we'll get speakers from across Southern Africa, including people in Eswatini, including Eswatini residents here in America, Eswatini residents in the United Kingdom. We have even reached out to victims in Eswatini, and they are prepared to come and speak on that day. That should be happening sometime next week. We are already busy preparing for that high-powered program. But as MDC, we stand with the people of Eswatini, and I hail them, I salute them for standing up against a dictator. And we should learn from them as Zimbabweans that that's the only way you can deal with a dictator. You just have to get out there and show them that their time is up.
Absolutely, that is right. And something to look forward to as well, standing in solidarity with the people of Eswatini all across the world. So yeah, I'm sure when there's a time and a date set for this, we will be communicating it to our listeners on Change Radio and Zim as well to let them know what is going on, so that those who are available can also go and stand in solidarity with the people of Eswatini.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the RAU advocacy unit saying that the majority of Zimbabweans are displeased with ED's illegal administration. Do you think this is something we can look forward to, this displeasement, if I can call it that, reflecting in the 2023 elections?
Yeah, I mean, people are disgruntled. We are disgruntled. You know, everyone is unhappy. Unhappy is an understatement. You know, we should actually find another vocabulary for, you know, the situation in Zimbabwe, the level of suffering there. The way, Zimbabweans, both those who are in the diaspora and in Zimbabwe, the way they are suffering, you know, it's not sustainable. We can't continue along that trajectory. And if we, the people that are there, the people that can stand up, allows this situation to continue, I think it would have done a great disfavor to our children, to our grandchildren. You know, they're going to stand on our graves and say, how did you allow this situation to prevail? We saw you on live videos expressing your disgruntlement, but what did you do about it? You know, we're going to go to a time where we say we've done enough talking, we've done enough advocacy in terms of making the world aware that this is what is happening in Zimbabwe. There comes a time when we have to act, when we have to do what the people in Eswatini are doing, when we have to do what the people in South Africa are doing right now. And that time is coming. I think you mentioned something like that when we started. ZANU-PF thinks that that time is never going to come. That time is going to come. There is a time that is going to come where Zimbabweans will be saying enough is enough. But I know that most people will be saying, you guys, you just talk. Zimbabweans will never do that. Never say never. Smith said it. He said never in 1,000 years. But it happened, and I have every faith and belief that Zimbabwe is going to be free one day. And it's never going to be freed by anyone. It's going to be freed by the very Zimbabweans that some people say Zimbabweans will never do it. And when it's happening, before it happens, we never see it. We never see it coming. And ZANU-PF will never see it coming. Just like Nelson Mandela said that you never believe that independence is going to come until it has come. That's what's going to happen in Zimbabwe. But I can tell you, I can assure you, the people of Zimbabwe are going to rise.
Absolutely. And we can see the signs there, Chief, all over. We would have some sections, some quarters that would rather stay quiet and not do anything or not be seen. But they are now starting to be vocal and starting to act. And I think those groups are all coming together. Something will happen. Something has got to give. And something will give. Something will give. Yeah. The ZIPRA war veterans as well. Not happy, ZIPRA. Failing to register for payouts. And they were told that the failure to register was that because the registration forms had run out. Who does that? So they're coming out and they're saying, look, we're always the ones to suffer. If something happens, only the people in Mashonaland are the ones that benefit. And we here as ZIPRA, we tend to get left out. To just tell people a silly excuse that you can't register to receive your war collaborators payouts because we've run out of forms. That is just a silly excuse.
Yeah, it's I don't blame them for bringing the tribal card there, because the person who is at the helm of the Zimbabwean government, is a person who led the Gukura Hundi, is a person who wanted to decimate the whole Matabeleland region and kill almost everyone there. He was the person who was in charge of that operation, Emerson Mnangagwa. So I don't blame what these war veterans, what they are saying, their accusations. There might be a lot of truth in what they are saying. Where would those forms go to? They've been complaining. We've heard these complaints about ZIPRA soldiers not getting the equal treatment as ZANLA forces or ZANLA war veterans are getting. And if they're not being treated well, they should speak out. And it's good that they're coming out and speaking out right now. And the lesson that we should all learn and all veterans should learn is ZANU-PF doesn't give them at heart. They only use war veterans when they want to retain their power. We need a government that takes care of all its war veterans, all its people, without being selective or without wanting the people at a certain time or at an opportune time when you need their votes.
So true, Chief. And it's good it's coming out at this time because, the more disgruntled people get, the more people will wake up and realize that this is an illegal administration that will lie to everyone just as long as they get what they want. As long as they get those billions being fronted by Tagwire in their own pockets, everything is okay. You remember when you were talking just now the other time about millions of dollars going missing. But when the Chiwenga marriage started to disintegrate and a lot of talk was going on, one of the things that were filed, and this is filed, with the High Court in the divorce papers, that Chiwenga actually instituted divorce proceedings against Mary because she had taken $7 million US from a safe in the house. $7 million in a safe in a house, in one person's house, and gold in the house.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening with these ZANU-PF cronies. They keep unimaginable amounts of money in their houses. They have a lot of money. The money that Emerson Mnangagwa has looted from Zimbabwe, you put it together with what General Chiwenga and Obed Mpofu and many others. That money is enough to pay our 11, is it 12 billion external debt? It's enough, and it's enough to resuscitate our country. These people are looting. Most Zimbabweans just don't know the extent to the corruption that is there in Zimbabwe. And when we come here and talk, people say we are just a waste of time. Why do we come and talk about these things? But we need to bring that awareness to the people of Zimbabwe so that we know what's going on, and we should even do more. Tofana kutoprinda mapepa akanyorwa neshona akanyorwa nechindevere tichiudza ana mbuya kumusha uko nana sekuru kumusha uko kuti mari imi muri kutambura nekuti mari yenyu yakabiwa apa ikabiwa apa ikabiwa apa. Tolista pese pakabiwa mari kubvira pamacovid kuenda kumadiamonds money nedzimwe mari dzidzi dzatongoona ma-excel gates sandura chi. Every corruption that has happened in Zimbabwe must be listed, and it must be explained, to the people of Zimbabwe. Zvonyorwa in vernacular, and then we put it into perspective. Kuti iyo 500,000 yakatorwa iya munogona kufunga kuti imari shoma, but $500,000 is enough to resuscitate Mpilo Hospital. It's enough to resuscitate Harare Hospital, Parere Nyatwa, and Mutare General Hospital. 500,000. That's the truth. You don't need a lot of money to get Mpilo Hospital going, So the $1 million that they steal, it's enough to build I don't know how many schools in Zimbabwe, So we need to put it into perspective to the people of Zimbabwe. It is our duty as citizens. It is our duty as opposition members to tell Zimbabweans exactly what's happening so that the people of Zimbabwe know. I think Hopo Chimono has spoken widely about that we need to break down everything so that the men in the streets understand. If we just come here and talk about corruption, that there's massive corruption in Zimbabwe, millions are disappearing, that's not good enough. Let's break it down. Let's put it into perspective. Let's take the $15 billion that disappeared and nobody knows about it. Let's break it down to the people of Zimbabwe and tell them that this is what $15 billion can do. $15 billion can build those spaghetti roads that some people say Chamisa is dreaming when he's talking about them. $15 billion is enough to do those things. That's what we need to be telling the people so that they understand the extent of corruption that ZANU-PF is doing.
Apo ma point chayo chief point yekuti ti translate ma corruption to mari twese toliswa twese yoiswa ma vernacular. It's very simply put, but vanhu vachinzwisisa kuti mari yese yaenda apa yaenda apa, and for sure mari iyo inokwana ma spaghetti roads, and it's not a dream. Ma spaghetti roads ari kuitika ku Ghana. Have you seen what is happening in Ghana? Have you seen what is happening in Namibia? Have you seen what is happening in Rwanda, in Malawi?
Yes.
If they can do it, we can do it too.
Of course.
Yeah. But we have to deal now for the time being, and we have to deal with these people who are stealing, and they must answer. They must have their one day when they must answer, and they must tell us exactly where they put our money. It's not their money, it's our money.
Exactly.
Finally, we talk about the Guruwe Residents Rate
I was about to wonder when I was going to hear that word finally, because England is waiting there. They need my support.
Yeah. Is England going to win?
Of course, England has to win. because you know what? If England wins, we can walk into Westminster there as Zimbabweans and takangopfeka majezi England tinokumbira mamillions tikapiwa. They last won a major trophy in 1966. So this will be a major thing in the United Kingdom if we can support UK and they win. Emerson Mnangagwa tinoiwana.
Ndakanzwa nezuro muchitaura papadare muchiti hanzi hakurarwi kana England ikawina.
Hakutorarwi zveshuwa. Hakurarwi nesu kunoku hatirari tiri kuvasapota.
Muri kuvasapota, right? Ngatichipinei mufinal muende kubhora.
Yes.
Guruwe Residents Ratepayers Association chairperson being threatened by CIO District Head Emmanuel Dinga. Kuti, why are you exposing corrupt land deals that is reported to the ZACC? So his family has gone into hiding. This is the reality that we need to look at, that a lot of MDC Alliance supporters and members are in hiding, and their families are in hiding because they are facing very real threats. We are threatening kuti mamangarire kuZLACC kuti vari kuita corrupt land deals in Guruwe. But it's true, it's happening. And unfortunately, it's got to go into hiding because of that.
That's what's happening, and we saw the same thing happening in Chitungwiza. You remember the chairperson for Chitungwiza Residents Association. That lady, she was thrown in jail. She was threatened.
Yeah.
You know, they did all sorts of things, you know, against her because all she was doing was speaking against the distractions that were, you know, being done by ZANU-PF in Chitungwiza, and that's the same thing that is happening in Guruwe. There is true. The land deals are happening. You know, there's been a stop, a temporary stop in urban councils. ZANU-PF, through the land barons, have been taking over land and parceling out land in urban councils. Now they're even going to rural councils to do the same thing. So at the end of the day, by the time we take over power, which I know is going to happen, we won't be having any country. You know, all the land will be in the hands of the land barons or the Chinese or the Rutenbergs and the Russians, and you know, you name them. You know, the list is endless. That's what ZANU-PF has been doing, parceling out land, and then at the end of the day, blaming the MDC Alliance for that. So what's happening in Guruwe is very, very sad, and it should be condemned.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for that, Chief. But before we go, our COVID-19 numbers are rising, guys. Let's take precautions. I think yesterday we had 2,249 new cases and 59 deaths. So this is very serious. There's the Alpha and the Delta variant. There's also a new variant, the Lambda variant, that is originated in Peru, that is also causing havoc and is being reported all over the world. So let's take precautions, guys. Let's mask up. Let's wash our hands. Let's not gather. Let's practice social distancing, and let's try and avoid more infections. Thank you so much for being with us, listeners and viewers on Change Radio and on ZimEye. Chief, thank you very much for your insightful thoughts and words. We appreciate them, and I know our listeners and viewers appreciate them as well. Leader Estela and those behind the scenes, thank you so much for being with us. Chief, you want to just tell a few words to our viewers before we go?
Yeah, because you have thanked everyone and nobody has thanked you, so I have to step in and thank you for doing such a good job. You know, thank you so much. We appreciate what you're doing, and we also appreciate what Change Radio has been doing. You guys have been publishing the number of deaths of coronavirus in Zimbabwe on a daily basis, of those who have contracted the disease on a daily basis, and you have been advising people to, you know, remain vigilant. You know, because we don't have a government that is educating people on that. We are on our own. We have to do it on our own. So let's keep up the good job. Let's keep telling people to social distance, to wash their hands, and to wear their masks, and to avoid, you know, unnecessary traveling. You know, because those numbers, you know, the numbers that you are reporting on Change Radio, that you are being given, that are on the government website, they are lies. They are lies. The 55 people that you are reporting as to have died, that's the official number. But more people are dying. Yesterday, I was in a WhatsApp group where 3 people in Masvingo just dropped dead. 3 people, they just dropped dead same day, almost same time. In, you know, someone in a supermarket, he drops dead. Someone walking in the streets, I don't go no, but I don't go far. Bus stop. Those are the reported cases. But how many others are going unnoticed? And that's what happens when you have an irresponsible government that gets millions and they pocket the millions. They start fighting on who gets that million and that million. We have been receiving a lot of money from the international community, but it's not being passed down to the people of Zimbabwe. And it's very unfortunate. But thank you for a good job. And thank you to all our viewers and listeners for the support. and for being here.
Thank you so much. Right, we leave you with a song from Sisisibo and the Tinoshika Chete crew. Sisisibo is launching an album on the 17th, her second album on the 17th of July. So stay tuned for that. Change Radio will be bringing that for you. And we leave you enjoying the sounds of Sisisibo and the Tinoshika Chete crew. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Change Radio, the people's radio, changing lives, changing communities, changing ideas. Tune in to Change Radio for all your fresh and undiluted news in Isindebele, Shona, and English. 5 days a week from Monday to Friday.
Ndiye ndozo nichamisa